handle their data, and SQL is the uh, very important skill, very important language to talk with the data. So okay, so let me start with the some of the presentation on SQL. Okay, so the first question would be, in your mind, that what is SQL? So SQL is a structured query language. It's kind of a programming language, okay, used for managing and manipulating relational databases. It allows users to perform various tasks such as querying data, updating records, inserting new data, deleting records in a database. SQL is essential for interacting with databases, especially in tasks like data analysis, application development, etc. So SQL is basically a communication language. It's communicating with the databases, right? In our day-to-day life, you go to that a retail shop or any bank. Number of transactions are happening. So behind the scenes, SQL is playing the role. Front end, you only see the front end, right? Behind the scenes, the SQL is playing the role. Inserting the data, deleting the records, that kind of thing. SQL is working behind it. Okay, we will show how the things are working in later part of this demo, but just I'm giving a brief introduction what is SQL is about. So why SQL? SQL structured query language is vital for several reasons, making it to go-to language for database management and manipulation. Here, why SQL is important, widely adopted. SQL is the standard language used to interact with relational databases. So most of the relational databases rel- is supporting SQL. Wide majority of applications across industries supporting SQL, cross platform. It works with most databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, and many others. Structured data, means a row column data. You can say that the data which can be stored in rows and columns. SQL is designed to handle structured data, making it easy to organize, retrieve, manipulate large volumes of data. Complex queries. SQL allows you to perform complex queries that involve multiple tables, conditions, aggregations with relative ease. So some of you might not be relating this as of now, but in later and in when you can relate when I show the practical how the things are working, how the things are relating. Okay, I'm just showing like what is SQL, why it is important to learn SQL, and how like it's relevant to industry level. Okay, especially IT industry. Many other industries are also using this, but yeah, we will let you know as the session goes on. Complex queries, we have discussed this. Scalability. SQL databases can scale to accommodate increasing data volumes, making them suitable for both small and large applications. So data volumes can be huge. In crores of rows can be there, millions of rows can be there. So SQL has the capability to handle that kind of data also. Readable syntax, it's kind of English like language, only not fully but similar to English like language. So people from non IT background or non full time developers can also understand what's written in the SQL query. Okay, so it has a readable syntax. Data driven applications, like many web applications, you are using a web app, like in Netflix also it's a web app, and in many websites you are like Flipkart, Amazon, you are surfing through. So behind the scenes, SQL is playing the role for storing the data and querying the data. Okay, and because SQL is compatible with many other languages also, so that's data driven applications we SQL is supporting. Interoperability. So as mentioned earlier, SQL can easily integrated with other programming language for the backend languages like Python, Java, PHP, and technologies like data visualization tools, and making it highly versatile. Community and support. Being widely used, SQL has a large community, extensive documentation, tutorial, and resources. You can, have a large official documentation also, tutorials also for, community support is big for SQL. So as data is a new oil, we can say, so it's required, but it's required data analysis also, right? So SQL plays a crucial role in data analytics domain also. Okay. So meaningful insights we can derive, we can take the help of data analysts. So I hope till this I'm making some sense. If any doubts like related to what SQL, why SQL, please let me know. I'm taking a 10-second pause here and then we can continue. And if anything related to, audibility of me, like I'm not audible or my screen is not visible, please ping in the chat window or just let me know. Um,
Akshay,
okay,
there are some questions in chat box.
okay. Hi Nijesh, I hope I'm audible to you. Yes, you would be able to learn this. As I mentioned that people from non-technical background also learn this because it's Oracle database and also is also using a SQL like SQL only, but some of the syntax can be different. Like some like 90% of the things behind the scene are same. Some sort of syntax can be different. We will be using SSMS SQL Server Management Studio for our practicing. So if some of the functions like which are working in SSMS might not be working in Oracle, but most of the things you are able to relate. Like most of the things behind the scenes are same for any of the databases. SQL is quite same, just few of the functions might be different. So it is not an issue. You will be able to learn this even in the starting. Like if we are working on some of the like different softwares, but behind the scenes we are using Python only, right? It doesn't matter if we are using different IDs or different platform. Some of the platform have some different functions for the different use cases, and but the basic syntax and basic things are quite same for all the database like Oracle, SSMS, everything is quite same. I think I'm making a sense, Nijesh, and I we will make sure that some of the major differences which people encountered in the while using working with SQL on SSMS and Oracle or any other mostly used databases, we will let you know. Okay, in some of the form, like if any major functions which we use mostly in the IT industry and what's the difference, in that functions, we will let you know, sure. But the basic are same. The syntax is most of the things are quite same, irrespective of database. Yeah, thank you, Nijesh. And any other question if anyone has, then I'm happy to answer. Else, I am moving forward. Yeah, so let's move forward. Okay.
Can you
So,
send the sir? Hello, sir.
hello, hello. Hi.
Can you send the total brochure of SQL, like what you are going to explain, like what are the agenda of SQL Server, what are the topics you are going to cover in this session?
Yes, yes. By the end of this session, we will let you know like the syllabus we are going to cover, and we will also share the syllabus with you. And is it
like
okay,
uh,
Shravan?
like
Like,
like topic wise and all those things,
yes, yes, yes. We
what,
have this. We will share it with you for sure at the end and at the end of the session. If you want, like I can show it now, but I think it would be more beneficial for all of you to to see that at the end. Like we will let you know. We have the syllabus with
like
us. We will,
okay,
yeah,
like what are the topics you are going to
topics.
cover
Yes, yes,
in your
yes,
session?
Shravan. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank
yes. We will
okay,
let you know.
thank you.
Yeah.
Uh, Akshay, can you hear me? Nijesh here.
Yes, 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 yes.
See, Akshay, please, from my end, I work for a bank, and we use the
Okay,
Oracle database. It's a newly launched one, I believe, like ORMB. It's been like in the market for the
okay,
last 5 to 6 years. And the challenge
okay,
here for me is like IT team is able to I'm part of the project team. So I run a project
okay,
team, and for me the challenge here is like every time I need to submit a request to IT team to provide me some of the data. Like we have large customer base, and I need to know when is the first invoice generated, when was the payment
okay.
made, everything. So what whenever I give a request, so they directly take the request, and in the back end they extract it, and they're taking
Mm-hmm.
5 to 10 days
Yes.
to get this data to me.
Oh,
So they told me that
okay.
you can get the access since my role requires that. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't know the SQL. I am a BCom graduate, and I was handling all the
Okay.
project teams from last 8 to 10 years in the current organization. I have
Okay.
completed my PMP also, but unfortunately,
Okay.
like all these things, like till 2 months back, all these data were provided by the IT team only. We never had an access to the back end because of the
Yeah.
security reasons. But right now they are planning to give to the India
Yes, yes.
partners.
Yeah, I
So
can
I
relate to
want
this
to,
kind of
yeah,
thing, Nijesh, like
yes,
because some of the team members are sending us the request also because they are not have the access and also not aware of the SQL languages. Like in my starting of the career, this thing's happening. No worries. Like
yeah,
Oracle, as I mentioned, like Oracle databases also, are using SQL queries only. So as like suppose you want to modify a date, you want to extract suppose your name is Nijesh, you want to extract your first part like NI from this. So might be the Oracle is using a different function and SSM is using different function.
okay,
That only that kind of things are a little bit different, but most of the things are quite same across all the SQL. Okay, when you know the syntax, like when you know the what's how it's happening, you can relate this. And also uh, I'm not denying this, like uh, different platforms like PL SQL, Oracle database have some of the syntax different, and we can always take help from Google. So I can say that because like there are many millions of functions, are many functions are there for different things, but you should know how the things are working from the basics. If you know the basics, you can learn this. No worries in that.
yeah.
Like
So you'll be
there
teaching us
will be
from
Sir,
the
no
excuse
problem.
basic,
me, sir.
right?
Yeah, there will be no problem for that.
Okay. So you'll be teaching
Excuse
us
me,
from the
sir.
basic, right? Yep.
Yeah, we will start from scratch.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Trevor.
Like majority of the companies, which database they will use, sir?
See, it can depend, like because most of the companies, like if you see the today's trend, the companies are shifting towards cloud technologies, and there are multiple opportunities for Azure cloud and all, and that is using SQL Server Management Studio SSMS. So I cannot say that most of the companies are using that, but yeah, the higher chances that maximum companies are using SSMS. But Oracle database and other Teradata things are also is in the market, and they are also using it. So it is, but if you know how to query in SSMS or SQL Server Management Studio, you know, uh, you will be able to connect to other databases also. You will let okay, like there should not be much problem for you. I know in the when you are in the learning phase, you might face a problem. Everyone face the problem in learning phase, but as you get to know how the database is working, how the SQL is working behind the scenes, it would be very easy for you. If irrespective of database you are working on, either it's Oracle or any other Teradata, any other database, it would be working. Because like suppose I'm working on Databricks platform, I think, like if any of you might be aware of that, it's a data processing tool, we can say. It also supports SQL. So uh, it suppose like syntax of SSM is also PL SQL also. So you you can relate, like if you are working with different platform, because behind the scene, like the basic is same, the basic syntax is same. The major, like most like you can say that some functions are quite differently written, and that can be handled, no worries. I hope I'm making sense here, like and as we go further, you can relate. Okay, and we will make sure that if someone is working on Oracle database, if I found that this function is not if we in the course, we will let you know. Okay, this is the alternate to Oracle database, right? We will let you know the examples also, like in future, like in the course also. Okay, but yeah, if you are comfortable with this, you will be comfortable in Oracle and other databases also. uh,
Thanks, Akshay.
yeah. So okay, let us continue. So tools available for performing SQL operations. Okay, there are various tools available for performing SQL operations, ranging from simple command line interface to comprehensive database management systems and development environments like MySQL Workbench. Okay, a graphical tool, like it's like SSMS only, like this. Okay, I will Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, Oracle SQL Developer. Okay, so I think you are working on this only. So if we can say that it supports SQL also, PL SQL also. So it's supporting SQL, so you will be able to work with Oracle SQL Developer also. But as I mentioned, might be some of the syntax like for the fewer functions might be different, but most of the things are quite same. Okay, so the Tableau data visualization, a highly known data visualization tool in the industry. Power BI, Microsoft product also. Business analytics and data analytics are use it highly in their day-to-day life. Power BI for data visualizations. Okay, for creating reports. The most basic one, the by using this command line interface. Like in the starting, people are using that. Visual Studio Code. Okay, like in this we are making our Python scripts also. So if we want to connect SQL, we can use Visual Studio Code also. Different IDs are there, different database management systems are there, where we can use SQL with. Okay, ODBC is a connectivity, it's a API for with SQL databases connecting for various programming languages. Okay, it is help us to connect SQL database if we are using Python or Java, like open ODBCs, that kind of API, application programming interface. Okay, so how like most as SQL is working, like using in like most of the industries. But if we see particular with relation with data engineers, data analysts, and data scientists in the real world, it is the most basic skill the a company is looking for, if they are hiring for data engineers, data analysts, or data scientists, or also for if we are applying for software development. The major, like it plays a very important role, SQL. And also if you are applying for the any support role which requires some simple querying of the data, SQL plays a very important role for that. Okay, so SQL for data engineers. So as a data engineer, I myself can relate that our day-to-day life, day-to-day responsibilities are data collection from different sources. Like many sources are there, Oracle sources are there, SQL sources are there, Amazon, many Adobe, many databases are there, Salesforce databases are there. So we are extracting data, transforming the data, we are creating the data warehouse, data marts, all requires SQL for that. We are making data pipelines. Okay, uh, so all required SQL for that. We are ourselves are using on a very extensive level SQL on a day-to-day life, and my team consists of data analysts, data engineer, data scientists. All of three are working together. Most of the people are data engineers, data analysts, data scientists are not in that number, but yes, I'm working with all of them. Okay, and I can relate that how extensively we all of three the profiles are using the SQL in our day-to-day life. Okay, so database design optimization. SQL is used to design efficient database schemas, set up indexing, partitioning, optimize queries for better performance. Like many a time we have millions and billions of rows are there, so querying all of them are quite making a system slower. So SQL has a capability to optimize it, partition it in different, if you have partition, like suppose you have 3 lakh rows, we can partition them in 50,000 rows. SQL has that capabilities also. Okay, data. So we are, as a data engineer, we are providing data quality checks, and we use SQL for that also. Okay, for it, like a value should not be null, like in a table which had customer IDs. Okay, so customer ID should not be null. That kind of checks we are applying with the help of SQL queries. Okay, and we are also using automation of data workflows, like where we write SQL scripts, like which we know that every hour or every day it has to update some of the things from the database. So we are using SQL for that also. Okay, so we are using data cleaning and data preparation also. Like I want to remove some duplicates, some missing values, some null values I have to check or remove. So for that purpose also I can use SQL. Okay, so for data scientists, how they are using it? Suppose like they are want to extract data from the inside, from the database or models, or to have to make the predictive models, to apply linear regression. So they need data. So they also use SQL for that also. Okay, They use SQL to access prepared data before applying statistics and machine learning techniques. Okay, they also should know that how to query the how to query the databases, and accordingly, if as a data engineer we are cleaning the data, but also data scientists, if they want a particular data for a particular region for a particular date, so they should also know some intermediate level or basic level at least queries. They should know how to query the data. Okay, and like they are making a model also, so on a large data sets. Okay, they have to evaluate the performance, so they are using SQL for that. And data analyst, like it plays a very crucial role for data analyst, to know a skill like SQL, because they are interpreting the data, generating reports, providing actionable insights to stakeholders, because they are the one who are making reports in tools like Power BI, Tableau, and showing that report to business leaders, which are making the decisions for the company. Suppose a retail company like you can say Coca-Cola. So how many sales Pepsi or Coca-Cola is making. So business holders don't know what is happening behind the scene. They only are they only want the reports or the dashboards we are creating from the data from tools like Power BI, visualization tools like Power BI or data, that Tableau. And we so data analyst plays a role in that. And behind the scenes, because Power BI also have the the capability to query the data from the SQL queries. Okay, they want to fetch all the data, they want to fetch a particular data, so they can run SQL queries also. If from the Power BI is connecting to one of the database, and they are fetching the data and making reports out of that, which is the most crucial part in the business as of now, because every business stakeholder is making decisions, like if they want to increase the advertisement, if they want to hire some marketing team, so if they want to target some particular age group, all these they are making decisions from that reports the data analysts are making from the data. And all this process is like data engineering, analysts and data scientists are interrelated. Data engineers are cleaning data, and that data is going to data analysts, they are making the reports, and the data scientists are further making the models, like predictive models, like what, like they have in the summer the Coca-Cola should be sell more, so that kind of analysis they are doing with the data only. And data and to work with data, SQL is the most essential skill, we can say that. Many other languages we are using, and I'm not denying that, like PySpark, Python, but knowing SQL is crucial, because Python, PySpark is mostly related, if we are working as a data engineer, but as a data analyst, SQL is the core they are using, right? With like and tools like Power BI and Tableau. Okay.
Akshay, I have one question. If you,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
if,
Sure.
uh, I have in fact two questions here. The first question
Okay.
is there any, I mean, you have touched one point for partitioning. Can you
Hmm.
just little bit explain, let's say if I have one large table, large data set, okay,
Hmm.
and it is hitting my performance at
Hmm.
on-prem, and I have ingested all the data from on-prem to the cloud, let's say on Synapse,
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
And in Synapse, I have a dedicated SQL pool. In that table,
Hmm.
I have billions of record. And I
Hmm.
build my model, and that model has been exposed to my BI layer, and it is not giving the result as we expected because
Hmm.
the data is huge. Okay.
Hmm.
Now the next question comes here. We need to do the partitioning. So, can you just explain me or us that how we can do that? That's number one. Number two, is there any performance issue in PySpark or SQL, or I would say, yeah. So performance wise, I just want to check
Oh.
that if I have a pure play SQL statements rather than I have Spark pool and I am writing my SQL commands there, will it hit my performance again? Yeah, thanks.
First of all, like suppose like I am working with a, like must be aware of Databricks platform, right? So working, if you are working with like it has a concept of Spark SQL, where you are writing the SQL queries, and it is converting into the Spark behind the scene, PySpark. Okay, that so there is not much performance difference in PySpark or SQL if you're working. If you know PySpark, if you know SQL, there not be much performance difference. And as far as partitioning is concerned, suppose like you have a data based on, you can create, suppose your monthly data or weekly data are there, so you can create, suppose I am working with ADLS like as a storage unit, like Azure Data Lake Storage. So what we will do, like we are creating the partition on the weekly basis or monthly basis or any region basis. So when we want to fetch the data, okay, and also in the Power BI we can fetch the region wise or weekly wise or monthly wise, that kind of thing we can do, right? And also if we want to, I want to increase the performance in SQL, we have the condition like, indexing is the one concept. Okay, we can index our data and that will um, improve the performance. We can repartitioning that, so it was a very long, you deep inside of data engineering we have multiple functions, all inbuilt functions also in the PySpark or SQL, like where we can, do partitioning, and behind the
But
scenes
what
Spark is
should the
creating the
strategy?
partition
Yeah. But what
strategy,
should be
like.
the strategy? For example, if you know the data is big in the table at on-prem table,
Hmm,
okay, and you would like to move into the data warehouse, okay, in the data
hmm,
warehouse, and this single table will not sustain there because it has a huge data, okay. So what
hmm.
should be the partitioning strategy here if you have, let's say, 10 billion of record, and how you will do that? That's number one. And is there
Okay.
any mandate that if you have a large data and you have written one notebook for that, for example, you have tables, five, six tables
Hmm,
in the DSP side, okay, and you made lot of joins in the views,
hmm,
and that particular view you have exposed to the BI layer, okay,
hmm,
and it is
hmm,
impacting, and people are
hmm.
saying no, you should not write a view. What you can do, you can write a notebook, whatever the logic aggregation that you want to do, you write a snaps notebook, and inside that you can read the data from DSP, again you can write the data to the DSP, and that final ingested or final curated data should be exposed to
DSP,
the
what is like D? Uh,
DSP is the dedicated SQL pool in
अच्छा,
Synapse. So
dedicated SQL. Okay, okay, dedicated SQL. Okay, got it,
yeah,
got it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So is
so
there any mandate that we should ingest the data in ADLS first, or we can also store the data into data warehouse, which is the DSP, dedicated SQL pool, or serverless, and then we can write our programs, notebooks, Synapse notebook, and process the data.
I think it would not be mandatory to store first in ADLS. Okay, like we can directly store in the dedicated SQL pool also. But I think as far as I know, dedicated, I have not worked much with Azure Synapse, to be honest. Okay, but as far as I know, dedicated SQL pools are is quite an, and also Synapse is quite an expensive operations to perform, right? So people, it would be wise to, store the data in ADLS first. But I'm not sure in that, Pravesh, to be honest, because I haven't much worked much with Azure Synapse. Okay,
No problem, Akshay.
most of the tech stack I'm working is Azure Databricks, ADF, and a SQL side of things. But
Okay,
yeah,
sure,
as
sure.
far as I know, dedicated SQL pools are quite expensive operations.
Yeah, that's correct, Akshay. That's correct.
Yeah,
You are right. And that is the expensive one. And
yeah.
is there any tool that can support Oracle database also and the SQL database also, or MySQL? For example, SSMS can only work with your SQL
If
databases.
you want to fetch that, like suppose if you're working with Azure platform, if you want to fetch the data and put it in your SQL database, SQL cloud database, so you have the Azure Data Factory for that, right? You have the connectors for Azure, like um, sorry, Oracle database, and you can fetch the data, or you can also with the help of, if you are aware of self-hosted integration services are there, where you can connect with the on-prem Oracle database also. So there are many things. If we go deep inside that, that would be much of the, whole lecture we can give on that. Like that's a very deep thing. Yeah, there are ways you, if you want to connect with, like suppose I'm working with Azure, there are ways which you can connect with the Oracle databases.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, thanks.
yeah. Uh, any other questions? Yeah, sir, I am currently in first year BTech CSE, so I'm early. Hi, Ali. So yeah, it would like not too early. Like you are already doing your BTech, and like SQL is the basic. If you are in CSE, yeah, SQL is the basic language. I think you should be knowing, and it would be a perfect time. We can say that by the end of you are in fourth year, you have a good because you have other languages to learn also like Python, Java, or any other language you are comfortable with. So yeah, it's not too early. It would be wise to, I myself start learning the languages in second year. So yeah, it would be wise if you are learning in the first year. No issues in that. And by the end you are in fourth year, would have a good command over many languages, along with SQL. And if you, I would suggest like started learning first year, learn one of the cloud Azure, AWS, or Google, GCP, because it's in high demand and it will be remain in demand in future like 10-15 years. We can sure of that. So yeah, I think Ali, I have answered your question. Give a thumbs up if you are satisfied with the answer. Okay, thank you. And which so let's continue. Which tool we are going to use in SQL course? Like as I mentioned that we are going to use SQL Server Management Studio. It's a tool from Microsoft. Okay, so it's a powerful integrated environment tool used to manage, configure, administer, and develop SQL Server. It provides range of tools to work with databases, including writing and executing SQL queries, managing database objects, and monitoring database performance. Some of the key features it has, like it provides a robust SQL editor with syntax highlighting, IntelliSense, and error detection. IntelliSense means code completion. Like if you are, it will automatically give you the hints. Like if you are querying some of the table, if you type the initials, it will complete that table name for you. Some that kind of intelligence it has. Error detection. If you are making some wrong queries, so it will showcase you with the red line, and if you run that, it will give you the error also, making it easier to write and execute SQL queries. It has the object explorer also. It will give a hierarchical view of the database, what database you're working with, what tables inside it, what sort of procedures inside it. It allows users to easily navigate and manage and modify database objects. Okay. It also provides, in a one, it's a UI based. These things you can work with, no query. It's required if you want, object, if you want to explore object explorer, table design, what kind of columns you have defined, what are the names of the column, what are data types of the column, that kind of thing you can query or like see in a UI only, by UI only. Okay. Backup and restore it if you want to back up the databases, or and ensure that data is protected. It has the facility of that also, because industry, any before any change, we should make sure that the backup of the previous database or previous data should be there. Okay, suppose if something goes wrong, we can restore the data. It has integration with the Azure also. SSM, it supports connecting and managing Azure SQL data warehouse. And like I think as of now, 40 to 50% of the market has been acquired by Azure. Earlier it was like AWS is the most using cloud platform, but as of now, I'm sure that 50% of the market has been acquired by our clients are moving towards Azure. Okay, so and they are both Microsoft products, so it's linking of that is quite easy. Hello, hello. Okay, extensive documentation and supports, and Microsoft itself is providing extensive official documentation, community support for that. If we found, any major issues which we have not encountered earlier, obviously we can go through the extensive documentation of the Microsoft. It has okay. So before, like I think in the group chat also, like last week I have asked many of you, like I have pinged in the sorry, chat window, that we should start install SQL Server. I've shared a video also regarding that. If anyone has the problem, we will uh, query your data. Okay, in the chat window, we can answer your query in the chat window. Some of you might have queries in that WhatsApp group. I have cleared that, and people are able to install that SQL Server Management Studio. It's simple next, not nothing rocket science in installing that, the SQL Server and SSMS Studio. If if anyone faces the issue, ping us on chat window. We will happily resolve all your queries regarding the installation of the software. Okay. And what is SQL Server? Like before installing SSMS, we are installing the SQL Server. It's nothing but a relational database management system developed by Microsoft. Okay. It is designed to store, retrieve, manage data for a wide range of applications, from small scale applications to large scale applications. Okay, this kind it is helping us. It's a RDBMS simply. So let me discuss some real-time use case in in our day-to-day life in our you guys have been encountered with. Suppose like in the banking transaction, retailing transactions, okay, that kind of the real-time examples, and that are called online transaction processing, that is OLTP. It's a type of database system that is optimized for handling a large number of short online transaction processing tasks, which typically involve inserting, updating, and deleting data. OLTP are designed to manage real-time transaction data and ensure that integrity, accuracy, and during frequent integrity of data, security of data is quite important. If you're dealing with the banking customer data, bank, it is like you are having access to all the things like their customer ID, their bank account statement. So that kind of thing should, like, security point of view also should be there. So that kind of the databases make sure that the data should be secure, and for that we can assign roles like who can assign the data. We can assign some security things also. So role based access generally we give, the right person should have the right role to access the data. Okay. So practical examples of OLTP systems are banking system for managing accounts, processing deposits, withdrawals, and transfers. Suppose you have a HDFC Bank app, and you want to know that, okay, from August 2024, April 2024 to August 2024, how many transactions you have made. So simply you have given a UI. You click, you select the date range, you show it. Takes a couple of minutes, and it will give you a PDF results. Okay, so you are only seeing the front end. Back the end, SQL queries. The middle layer is passing. Front end is giving the request to back end layer, that and a SQL query is running behind the scene. Okay, from this date to this date, how many transactions are there? It will go to that table. It is stored. So these kind of, if you are making a banking system, retail point of system, like backend, for there a database is created, and for that data to connect to talk with that database, SQL is required. Okay. So retail point of sale, if you are going to a supermarket, okay, for the first time, suppose, so might be the at the billing counter, you are a person is making a customer ID for you, and it is asking for your phone number, or where you are living, and if the customer ID is creating, and at the second time you are it is stored in a database, and second time if you reach that retail shop, they have the information with your number. So all that things are uh, storing in a database. And if, okay, if you are want to access your details, like when and what you have purchased the last time, some of the, so behind the scene the SQL query is running. Okay, although the application is very extensive, like many of the languages like Java, Python are using, but to connect with the database, backend database, SQL is they are using, right? Most of the applications. Online booking systems, like suppose you are booking a flight, so that e-commerce website like Amazon, when you are add to cart on a Flipkart or Amazon, it is making an entry for you in the in the table. Okay, it is making an entry for you in the table, and if you want to uh, talk with that data, so behind the scenes SQL query is running. Okay, so in the OLTP online transaction systems, SQL query plays a crucial role in managing and interacting with the transaction data. Okay, I hope I am clear with the real-time use cases we have for SQL. Okay, And I'm taking a pause for 10 seconds. And if anyone has some questions, they can let me know. Else, we will continue.
Akshay, Nijesh here. I just have a
Yes.
question. Like, how do
Yes.
you like how do we make the payment, everything, like for this training? Like, you will be sharing the link in the WhatsApp group whatever you have created, or
Um, Nidesh, like my PR team will be like best to answer that. Yeah, there would be link for that. Um,
okay. Yeah,
I think
because
I have. Yeah, we will let you know at the end, Nidesh, for sure.
yeah, because I'm
What
just
the,
going to drop
yeah.
off from the call. I have to take few other calls from office. It's like
Okay.
late night. Saturdays we have
Okay.
a work for the Saudi region. So I'll be dropping
Okay.
off now. But if you put the details in the link, I'll be proceeding with the payment part. And could you please let me know when the class is going to start?
Yes, Nidesh. Like yeah, as a class, as far as class is known, from the 23rd of August, we are going to start our batch.
Friday.
And for yes, yes, 23 is
Okay.
the Friday, I think.
So what time is the classes every weekend? It's Saturday, Sunday, or it's going to be Friday?
We are planning Saturday, Sunday, mostly like,
Mhm.
but if it requires, we can hold Friday, Saturday, Sunday also. We will also
Yeah,
take the,
because for me, the thing is like
yeah,
I support the EMEA Middle East region. So,
okay,
like Friday, I had to like past Saturday, Sunday. Usually I get leaves on the weekends only. So weekend,
okay,
if it is a weekend, in the sense I'll be working from home, and Friday I had to
okay,
be in office. So I will not be able
okay,
to like the if you could
okay,
let me know
Nijesh.
timing, that would be helpful. And do
Yeah.
we have any recorded sessions? And also can
Yes,
we if
yes, Nijesh. Yes, yes, definitely. We will have a LMS type of LMS system, also learning management system. Okay, in future, and yeah, every session will be recorded, and we will also make sure that okay, with like we will take account like what the most audience is comfortable with, like if they are comfortable only on the weekends, because if it will extend some of the duration also if we exclude the Friday. But yeah, if the audience is more comfortable with only weekends, definitely we can do only weekends also. There would not be any issues with that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Thanks, Akshay. So, like,
Yeah, thanks,
I'll
Nijesh,
connect
and
with you
thanks for
separately on
joining.
the group chat, okay?
Yes, yes,
But I'm
thanks.
going to enroll for this session.
Okay, thanks, Nijesh. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, any other um, question with any other person? Okay, I am continuing with the session. Okay. So, as we mentioned about that OLTP thing, like real time use cases. So, how the things are working from now? I show some of the practical also, like data manipulation. If I want to insert some of the new records into table, suppose I have a student table, it has name and roll number. Okay, so I want to insert some of the name also. If a new person joins my school, or my classes, I want to insert his or her record. I can insert that data. Okay, I can delete if someone uh, left the school, left the trainings, I can delete that data. Okay, if I want to check how many students are there, or in the class, I can query that data also. So all that kind of thing, OLTP is also working to insert, delete, okay, or to access, to remove anything, to drop the table. So that kind of thing, we can work with the SQL. Okay, so let's move to the our software SSMS. Okay, this is a kind of interface you will be encountered with, and if you want to download, you can simply write, okay, you can download from here, the setup. Okay, the express edition is a free edition, you can download this one, and it's a simple next one. You will be, you know also we will share you a link also, where up, so I found that the video best explaining how to install that SQL Server Management Studio. If any of you have facing issues, we will happily to address that issues. Some of, if like we have a WhatsApp group for this demo session also, some of the students have asked me they are facing some issues. We have rectified that issue and they are able to install and open that SSMS. Okay. So because I have already installed it, I am not going to uninstall and install it. It will take some time. But if you want any help, we will happily to resolve your issue. And believe me, it's not that much. If you have install any other software in your system or any other game or any other thing, it will be a cakewalk for you. Okay. So this is the interface of SQL Server Management Studio. It has Object Explorer as we mentioned. Okay, it if you want to write a new query. So basically, this part we are working most of this, and this is the new query one. Okay, so it has databases. Okay, which databases inside it? It has some system databases that mastered it. It's the system database means its own database. Okay, so we have some our database. Like I have created this database. We can assign wi- roles like who should in the industry, because we have like here we are the sole owner of this databases, right? We are the master owner. But in the industry, or in if you are working with the team, suppose only that you want to give this database access to data analyst or any other particular person, but not to the whole team. So these kind of things you are with the help of server role logins, you can, we will show you also like in classes like how you can assign the roles. Okay, so if you want to create the stored procedures also, if it has that capability. Okay, so let us start with the basic thing. Like the first thing is like click on a new query. Okay, the first thing is to create a database is a collection of tables, simply like okay, tables, stored procedures, like you create the tables inside that database. Suppose it has, I have created a SQL practice database, so inside that only you can create your stored procedures with tables. So we will suppose you have a school has a database. Okay, and inside with names of it, suppose we have a DPS school, so it has a database named DPS, and inside that different tables of a different department like computer science department, physics department, different tables are stored inside that. So it has like it's, if you want to know like um what kind like which from which database you that table would be there, it would be, we know okay that DPS database has that kind of tables, right? So first step is to create a database. Okay, so we will create a database. It will simply the create database, as we mentioned in that Word document, that it's like a kind of English language also, like it's self-explanatory, like create a database for me. Okay, let us create a SQL demo one. It's, as you can see that it's highlighting in the purple or dark blue color if you are mentioned. So it means that it's a inbuilt command or inbuilt command of SQL, and this is the name I want. So if I write this, it means that create a database name SQL demo for me. Okay, it in English also, if I say that create database for me, okay, we I'm not writing that for me. It's like a simple English language. If you can see that I just execute it, so it has created a database for me. Okay, after a couple of refreshes, I think it would be visible. See, it is visible for me now, right? It was not there. So I want to create a table inside it. I have two options. Either I use a command use data, sorry, 1 second. What was the name? SQL demo. See, it is as we mentioned. If I it has intelligence, right? It is giving me the options which uh, uh, database you want to work with. Okay, I have two options. Use SQL demo. I'm giving a command to SQL that okay, I want to work under SQL demo. I'm executing it. Now I am inside it. If now I am creating a table, it is creating inside this. If I'm working, it is creating inside this SQL demo. Okay. Or I can right click on it and I can click new query. So this will also, if I'm working, writing a query, it is relating to this SQL demo, not this SQL practice. Okay. So we have two options. So suppose let's get start from the basic. Let's start with the a basic example of customer retail shop. Create a table for me, customer. Okay, so you can see that I can ignore this or I can comment out this. Okay, so if I commenting out this, if I execute, it will not run. SQL will not. Commenting on means I want to ignore these of the commands. Okay, create table customer, and I am only giving two columns here, customer ID. Okay, and uh, what should be the data type of customer ID? Customer ID can be an integer, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it has, I have to provide a data type also. Okay, create table customer, customer ID, data type integer. So what it does, it signifying create a table customer for me, bracket open. Um, with the first column name would be customer ID and its data type is int. And if I want, I'm ending it with the comma because I want in the next line a second column I want to name of the customer. So varchar is also a data type like variable character, like it very varchar 50 means that I can uh, put a name in this table up to 50 letters, right? Suppose Akshay Kaushal is, so that kind of characters I can, if my name is exceeding 50, it will give me a range out of error. Then I will edit this and making it to 100 if I have the name with, with the words greater than 50, right? Okay, so if I'm ending here, I don't, in the last column I don't have to end it with a comma. Okay, I'm ending with this and I'm creating a table. It is showing that command. So I want to check if the table is created for me or not. SQL has a simple select star from customer. Star means sab kuch le aao, everything I want from that customer table. Okay. See, it has given me customer ID, name customer. I don't have it giving. I have created a blank table. I do not make any date inside any data. Okay. So let me insert a few data in it. We have a SQL command insert into table name, that is customer. See, it is giving me automatically. If I'm timing C, it is giving me automatically. Okay, this is IntelliSense feature of that SSMS tool. Okay, so I will be writing column name customer ID and then name customer. Okay, and then values. So customer ID is an integer. I have to write integer also. One, I will write name. If it is a string value, it means name. Okay, name of any country, name of any region, I have to put it in the inverted commas. Okay, so I write Akshay. See, it is showing one row affected. If I write, it is making an entry for me. Okay, suppose if I write another name here, it is making another entry for me. I can make multiple entries also by inserting commas here and taking values. Okay, and see, it has two entries for me. Now what we have discussed, like we can delete data insert data. We in the OLTP, suppose it's a retail point of sale system. We have inserted data. Now I want to delete the data. Okay, we have a command delete operation. Delete from customer. Okay, if I write this, it will delete all the rows, all the entries for me. Okay, it will, okay, it will then again throw me a blank table. But I only want where customer ID is 2, because he is not a customer anymore for me. Okay, so I will write a where condition to one row affected. You may be wondering like why all these, if I'm executing this, why all these state queries are not executing, because I'm selecting only this, and this tool will only run the highlighted part. If I execute this without highlighting, it will execute all the things. Okay, but only want to execute this part. See, it has deleted the customer for me. Then I'm again inserting it again. Okay, for the third part. Now I want, suppose I want to update it also. Okay, I have not mentioned it. I have want to update it also. So I have a query update table name. Now I want my customer ID changed to 3. Okay, I have to mention, but where? See, it has updated the customer ID for me. Okay, so all of these things we can work, like I have simply explained a basic of the basic example of like how OLTP or that uh, retail point of sale systems are working. Okay, so and how SQL is helping us in that. Okay, so um, I'm ending my demo session here, and I would be happy to address if any of the queries you have, and my team will let for the further things. We are launching a batch on SQL. Okay, on launching next week, 23rd of August. Okay, and like we will be providing like job oriented training, industry expert faculties you have. Okay, real time projects we will create. Okay, these type of facilities you will be we will providing you. And now if you have any questions, I will be happy to address this. And yes, any query related to the course, you can ping on the window, like ping on the chat window. Our team will be connect with you regarding that queries. If you have any technical issues like in installing SSMS or any query with SQL, I will be happy to address that. Even if you have doubt in a later, like tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we will be happy to address you. No worries for that.